The 12 apostles of Jesus Christ have left an unforgettable mark on the history of Christianity. Coming from very humble backgrounds, some were fishermen, others craftsmen, but all responded to the divine calling, leaving behind their former lives to become witnesses to the resurrection of Jesus and messengers of his gospel. Their lives were dedicated to spreading this good news, but this mission was not without its dangers. Their commitment led them through terrible trials, ranging from persecution to martyrdom. Each one sacrificed his life out of love for Christ, but their deaths were not all the same, and the stories surrounding them are sometimes fascinating and mysterious. Today, we delve into these captivating and often dramatic stories that reveal how these men changed the world. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel, hit like, and stay with us until the end to discover these poignant and inspiring stories. Simon Peter, a leader with a humble heart. Simon Peter is perhaps the best-known apostle. Called the Rock by Jesus, he embodies unwavering faith. Initially just a simple fisherman, Peter left everything behind to follow Jesus. After Pentecost, Peter became a pillar of the Jerusalem church, unafraid of persecution to preach the gospel. He faced Roman hostility, and under Emperor Nero, he was arrested. The story goes that he was crucified in Rome in 64 AD, but with one exception, he reportedly requested to be crucified upside down, deeming himself unworthy to die in the same manner as his Lord. This request reflects his humility, devotion, and profound respect for Christ. His death is a living testimony of perseverance in faith, an example of spiritual commitment until the end. Peter is a true model of courage, showing that faith can triumph even in the face of death. John the Evangelist, an apostle preserved by God. John, the brother of James, is the only one of the 12 apostles not to have been martyred. This apostle, known for being one of Jesus' closest followers, played a crucial role in establishing the church. He is the author of the fourth gospel, the epistles of John, and the book of Revelation. After the resurrection of Jesus, he continued his ministry in Jerusalem and Asia Minor, where he founded Christian communities. Tradition says he was arrested under Emperor Domitian and exiled to the island of Patmos, where he wrote the book of Revelation after surviving an execution attempt by poisoning. This miracle demonstrates divine protection over his life. John is a model of faithfulness and perseverance. Although he did not experience martyrdom, his life bears witness to the importance of remaining faithful to one's divine mission, even in adversity. James the Greater, the first martyr. James, the son of Zebedee, was the first apostle to shed his blood for his faith. He was one of the 3 privileged disciples, present during key moments in Jesus' life, such as the Transfiguration and the agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. His martyrdom took place under King Herod Agrippa I in 44 AD. The latter, seeking to win favor with the Jews, had James beheaded, making him the first apostle to be martyred. His death shocked the early Christians, urging them to spread the gospel despite the dangers. Tradition holds that his disciples carried his relics to Spain, where he became the patron saint of the country and where the pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela originated. Philip, a courageous preacher. Philip from Bethsaida was one of the first apostles called by Jesus. He was known for his pragmatism and attention to detail, as seen when he asked Jesus about the multiplication of the loaves. After the resurrection of Jesus, Philip began preaching throughout Asia Minor, particularly in Phrygia. Tradition reports that he was crucified in Hierapolis in 80 AD, either upside down out of humility or stoned, according to other sources. Regardless of the form of his martyrdom, Philip remains an example of dedication and courage in the face of persecution. Thomas, the tireless traveler. Thomas, nicknamed the Doubter because of his initial disbelief in the resurrection of Jesus, underwent a profound transformation after seeing Christ's wounds. This moment of recognition changed his life forever, and he became one of the most fervent defenders of the Christian faith. Thomas traveled to India, where he established Christian communities that still exist today. He was killed by a spear while in prayer, thus becoming a martyr for his faith. His life and death illustrate the possibility of redemption and the strength of faith, even for those who initially doubt. Matthew, from tax collector to evangelist. Matthew, a former tax collector, is one of the apostles whose conversion is most striking. Before meeting Jesus, he lived a life of corruption and contempt. But when he responded to Jesus' call, he left everything behind. Matthew is traditionally considered the author of the first gospel, which highlights how Jesus fulfilled the prophecies of the Old Testament. His missionary work took him to regions such as Ethiopia, Macedonia, and Persia, where he was eventually martyred. According to some traditions, he was pierced by spears in Ethiopia, but whatever the method, his sacrifice reflects his unwavering faith. The sacrifice of the apostles. The stories of the apostles are not merely historical accounts. They are living testimonies of faith, courage, and sacrifice. Each apostle paid a price for their fidelity to Christ, even to the point of giving their lives to spread the gospel. Their lives and deaths continue to inspire us today, reminding us that the Christian faith is one of perseverance, commitment, and courage. The apostles show us that there are different paths to serve God, but all are marked by a call to overcome fear and live according to the principles of the gospel. Their legacy lives on through their writings, their teachings, and the communities they founded. If you enjoyed this exploration of the apostles' lives, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video to inspire others to follow the example of the first disciples of Christ.